Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's second video. Day 10 will take us to the 10th of November, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles, maybe around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 for the next 4 weeks at the end of the video, and I shall get on that for you in a moment. Just say that first. The video today was the detailed European outlook, so please check that video out if you'd like to do that. And we have got the first installment of Christmas Countdown coming up for you at 7 PM this evening. It's going to be a premiere. We're premiering Christmas Countdown. Goodness gracious me, going to be exciting. I'll see you on the red carpet at 7 PM. The video is already uploaded and set up. You know, premiere set up. So gonna have a countdown and all of that good stuff, and that'll be coming at 7 PM this evening. So I shall see a little bit later on for that one, maybe. Wow. Don't know. Just to say that I was a little bit poorly on the live stream last night, so thank you to everyone who checked in to the live stream last night. I was slightly unwell on that, and afterwards, I won't go into details, but remember, I wasn't able to do the 6 AM UK weather forecast, so there was no 6 AM forecast this morning. It should be back, though, tomorrow morning. Hope that's all right with everyone. Second batch of calendars now released, so if you want the GavsWeatherVids 2025 calendar. We sold, 25 before. We've got another 25 to go at. Now, if you want the GavsWeatherVids 2025 calendar, then all you need to do is send £12.50 to the GavsWeatherVids PayPal account. You can find the link to that in the description with this video. Send £12.50 to GavsWeatherVids with your name and address. We will get the calendar out to you, and that's it. That's all you need to do, and you'll be able to see our wonderful 2025 calendar. And it's going to be it's an awesome calendar. See, it's one of the best things I've ever been involved with in all the years that I've been doing GavsWeatherVids. This calendar project has been by far and away the best project that I've been involved with, or certainly one of them anyway. So if you want it, £12.50 to GavsWeatherVids PayPal account, we'll get that calendar out to you. This will be the final batch of calendars that we are able to do. So once these are gone, then that's it. We're sold out. So if you want it, I will get it as quickly as you can. Because as I say, when we're sold out, that will be it for this year. But we will almost certainly do 2026 calendars next year. Thank you so much to James98 for sorting the calendar out for us, designing it, and all of that. Thank you so much, my friend, and thank you so much to everybody for embracing the calendar, buying it, and whatnot. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Right, let's start off with the centering temperature. Remember, CT is still sitting at 11.5. That's 1 degree above 61 to 99 average. It's provisional to yesterday to the 30th of October. I doubt that's going to change from there. So about mid-11s is where we're going to end up, I would have thought. These were GFS upper air temperature precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We've got Luton today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Luton. So we're starting off significantly above average with the upper air temperatures at the moment, and we're going to be keeping the upper air temperatures significantly above average through the first 10 days or so of November. In towards the middle part of the month, we find the upper air temperature beginning to come down a little bit, starting to lower, but of course that is a very extended range and is therefore unreliable, although there is a clear cooling trend there, around the middle part of November. It's a very, very, very long way off, to say the least. So within the reliable time frame, or semi-reliable time frame, which is up to a week to 10 days out, looking very mild with those upper air temperatures. Precipitation-wise, going to be more or less completely dry for the first 10 days of November as well, because there could be some little pockets of drizzle and whatnot. But overall, looking very dry for the first 10 days. Then maybe through the second week of November, it's starting to go a little bit more showery. But again, that's a long way off. It's very extended range and therefore not especially reliable. Okay, so temperature anomalies from the 31st of October to the 8th of November are coming out above average, and precipitation anomalies from the 31st of October to the 8th of November, they're coming out drier than normal, substantially so. latest weather map from knowleschool.net showed that we're under high pressure today, and as we've already established, high pressure will continue for the first week, if not 10 days of November. Right, let's start going through the chart data then. This is our latest UK Met Euro. It's looking midnight on Sunday. High pressure over and to the east country, mostly dry and fine conditions. Then into the beginning of next week, high pressure remaining in control and in the ascendancy. Gradually we start to bring up more of a southwesterly flow. No, it stays mild through next week and will be very mild if that comes off for the north in particular, like with a bit of phone effect. That's the kind of thing that might lift the temperature into the mid to upper teens Celsius there on the Mari Firth, for example. Down in the southeast, possibly it could be a little bit cooler there, particularly if we start generating fog and that sort of thing. But overall, fundamentally, that is a very mild pattern. A very mild ridge. Icon again, high pressure in control on Sunday through to the early part of next week. High pressure shifts away to the east a little bit. Winds stay from south, so it stays mild. Then begins to turn a bit more unsettled out to the northwest. With that area of low pressure possibly brings some showery outbreaks of rain and exceptionally mild air into the north. The south could be a little bit cooler with very slack gradients, particularly if we start generating fog. And by the second half of next week, again, we see high pressure in control, especially to the southeast, out to the northwest, plus a little bit more showery for Ireland and Scotland. And a very, very mild temperature, to say the least. Let's go through to the KMA. So again, we see high pressure bringing lots of dry, mild conditions through the early part of next week. Second half of next week begins to a little bit more unsettled out to the north and the west, with some shower rain Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales staying mostly dry bow. And then possibly into it going a bit more mobile, a little bit more mobility and slightly unsettled weather by the 12th of November. With low pressure beginning to deepen in the Atlantic, staying mild though with that. This was GFS midnight run, so again high pressure dominating the scene and in control through the weekend and into next week as well. Looks like high pressure slips to the east of Europe through the middle of the week and then sort of reforms back across Western Europe for the second half of the week. Basically high and dry throughout next week and into the weekend of the 9th to 10th of November. Beyond day 10, well again, high pressure remaining in control. High pressure begins to move up towards Scandinavia, winds turning round to the east a little bit. Other showery conditions then. And then right at the very end, up towards the middle of November, starts to turn a bit more unsettled with showery outbreaks of rain coming in from the Atlantic. So around the middle part of November, beginning to turn more showery and a little bit cooler as well by then. So mid-November, perhaps a bit more unsettled. That's a long way off. Just want to talk very quickly about inversion. So with this pattern, we could get an inversion. If we do, it's most likely to be more towards the south and the east. So back to GFS midnight run at 96 hours, that's Monday. See high pressure dominating over slightly to the east of the country. There's the upper air temperatures. They look very warm, bring plus 10 Celsius iceberg into the south. It's kind of pattern that if it was occurring 3 months ago, it'd probably lift the temperature up to 30 degrees. Despite the warm upper air temperatures, though, the dew point is actually looking not cold, but certainly colder than the upper air temperatures. So you notice that the upper air temperatures were in the orange shady colours, but the dew point is in the green shady colours. So clearly it's colder on the surface than it is aloft. When that happens, we call it an inversion. The reason that's happening is that despite the warm temperature, upper air temperatures aloft, because we've got very slack gradients, light winds, and the atmosphere is very static, you know, nothing's happening to stir up the atmosphere and bring those warm upper air temperatures down to the surface. And because of the time of the year, it's 4th of November, so long nights, we find that the warmth on the surface, any warmth on the surface, sort of radiates out into space quite quickly. And we call that inversion. It's the kind of thing that we look out for in the autumn and the winter. It's a minor and modest inversion due to the fact that it's only November. If we look further on into January, then that could be, you know, genuinely kind of see these blue colours over here. That also is inversion, really, across the eastern side of Europe. But the difference is, you know, it's a lot colder over there with overnight frost. Nevertheless, surface temperatures do look quite chilly when we get through to the beginning of next week. And certainly colder, as I say, on the surface, but it is aloft in the upper atmosphere. So we have got to think a little bit about inversion with this pattern. Not as much as if it was happening a couple of months further on. But there is a possibility that although the upper air temperatures are quite warm, and this graph here looks quite warm with the upper air temperatures, it's not necessarily that straightforward as to what's going on the surface, and you do have to drill down into detail. Now, I hope that explains that. Right, let's move on to GFS6. However, just go back to, very quickly, go back to light icon. So that looks a lot more mobile for next week in the northwest. No inversion there. For definitely not for Scotland and Northern Ireland, because there's too much breeze, so that will stir up the atmosphere. And as I say, that's a kind of pattern with that long fetch southwesterly that might lift the temperature to sort of 17, 18 degrees with phone effect on the Moray Firth. Maybe even warmer than that. We could still get inversion down across East Anglia, South East and England. The gradients are quite slack, but it's not as straightforward for an inversion there with icon as it is for the GFS and midnight run. So, you know, it's going to be a case of keeping an eye on what's happening. Right, let's go through the GFS6 then. Again, high pressure dominates weather and in control and in the ascendancy through the weekend and on into next week as well. High and dry, keeping the areas of low pressure at bay out to the Atlantic. That gets us through to the end of next week. No changes, really high pressure just continuing to rule the roost. On to day 10. So, sun going back slightly more showery for Scotland, Northern Ireland, but England, Wales, very slack gradients coming through there. And then on beyond day 10, well, the ridge continues to dominate weather over and to the east of the country. Plenty of fine conditions likely, and that high pressure still in control, dominating over the country, more or less to the end of GFS6 there. By the very end of it, begin to slip southwards and allow a slightly more mobility in from the Atlantic. That's the 16th of November, though, so a very, very long way off. Basically, the first half of November is high and dry there. GFS6. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. And we thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. For us, thank you so much. We've gone past 18.9k. So we're pushing on now to 19,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, everyone. They're getting us so close to 19,000 subs. Okay, GM, again with high pressure over and to the east country, lots of dry and fine weather to come. Into next week, high pressure brings a slip towards the east of Europe, lower pressure out to the north and the west side to bring some showery conditions in. That's the second half of next week, so you see it's a very, very warm pattern. It's imagine if this was like the 8th of July or the 8th of August rather than the 8th of November. We really would be looking at a very, very impressive heat wave indeed here next week. As it is, it's November, so although it will be mild, potentially very mild or exceptionally mild even for northern parts of the country, you know, it's not going to be as warm as it would be in the middle of the summer. By the end of the GM run, starting again, see that high pressure beginning to slip a bit further southwards, allowing a little bit more mobility coming in from the Atlantic, possibly with some showery bursts. And then the ECM, once more with high pressure over and to the east of the country, lots of dry and fine weather to come with that. Second half, early next week, to say to middle next week, beginning to go a bit more mobile out to the northwest, some showery conditions up there, mostly dry though in the south and the southeast. And the high pressure re-strengthens again through the second half of next week. Once again, this is a pattern that could bring some exceptionally mild temperatures to, particularly the northern half of the country. Actually, the southeast might be a little bit cooler due to the proximity of the high pressure. Could allow some fog and that sort of thing to develop. Day 9 and 10, again, in come the westerlies. So just a bit of a hint today that by sort of the second week of November, we might be starting to bring a little bit more mobility in from off the Atlantic. Still very mild with those west-south westerlies though. Visible precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Spectrum.com. Showery central northern regions over the next few days, otherwise mainly dry. And those main dry conditions may last through the weekend and on into the early part of next week. Mid next week might start to turn a bit more showery in the north and in the northwest. It's still, though, mostly dry down in the south. And the dry conditions actually come back later next week. So dry conditions really taking us up to day 10 away from the far north of the west. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today. For day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office gets us to the 10th of November. 25 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure to the south and to the east, lower pressure out to the northwest there. And then we've got 15 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure down towards parts of Biscay, low pressure close to Iceland, so that's reverting to a westerly flow. We've got 11 keeping the high pressure going over and slightly to the east of the country, winds remaining from that southerly, southwesterly direction. Obviously, that's the most settled option. The other two options, on the majority options, it has to be said, if you put a 25 game with a 35, that gets you to 40. Members of the ECM ensemble to actually establish more of a westerly flow by day 10. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It gets to the 15th of November. 12 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure to the southwest, low pressure to the north. So just a little bit more westerly with that. We've got 12 with a ridge to the south and to the east. And the lower pressure is out to the west. So still mostly dry with that and quite mild. We have got 10 with a ridge through here. Lower pressure is in the Atlantic, jet stream doing something a little bit like that. So it should be quite a bit of dry weather with that. Could be a little bit chilly. We have got 9 with low pressure through here, a ridge building in the Atlantic. That's starting to turn cooler and is unsettled as well. And then we've got 8 looking quite unsettled with low pressure out here, high pressure down there, and winds coming from a west or southwesterly direction. So perhaps slightly more unsettled in the day 10 to 14 time frame, but before then, high pressure is in control. Right, CFS finally, these are 500 millibar high times broken down into week periods. The first week period takes us from the 31st of October to the 6th of November. The next week we'll have high pressure over the top of Western Europe, lots of dry and fine and mild weather to come. Week 2 will be the 7th to the 13th of November. Again, we're high and dry once more in that week as well. Week 3 will be the 14th to the 20th of November. High pressure begins to slip a little bit further south with low pressure out to the northwest, starting to revert back to more of a westerly or a southwesterly flow. So becoming a bit more showery at the very least, staying very mild though. And week 4, 21st, 27th of November, again, high pressure is to the south and to the southwest, low pressures away to the northwest, and winds are coming in from a southwesterly direction. Driest weather in the south, both settled weather in the north, and temperatures staying mild or very mild. And we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. We're on our way to 19,000 subscribers. Final push to 90k has started. So please give us a sub. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. And don't forget the GavsWeatherVids 2025 calendar is on sale now. If you would like to buy that, then just send £12.50 to the GavsWeatherVids PayPal account, and we will send your calendar out to you. And that's going to be absolutely awesome. Right, so we've got the premiere coming up at 7 p.m. this evening. We will be premiering our first installment of Christmas Countdown. So I'll see you on the red carpet a little bit later. I might put on my tie, I don't know. I'll see you a little bit later on the red carpet though. Tomorrow, going to have 6 a.m. UK weather forecast. We've got JMA Friday, a 10 to 14 dayer. And Pub Run Live is back tomorrow as well. So many of you have been asking for the return of Pub Run Live. So that'll be back at 10:30 tomorrow. I shall see you then for a few laughs and a little bit of magic water, maybe. But for this one, anyway, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. See you later on for the premiere, and bye for now.